Welcome to the Apologetics.com radio show, where we challenge believers to think and thinkers to believe. I'm Harry Edwards, your host for the evening. Joining me in the studio is Dr. Tim Muehlhoff, a good friend, speaker, author, professor, and communications professor at Biola University. I'm going to introduce him more at length, but just know that our show is about Tim's new book. It is Eyes to See, published just recently. Just came out really recently,
December 15th.
Oh, December 15th.
Yeah.
All right. I know Tim has been on the show before, and it's always an honor and pleasure to talk to him about his book. The subtitle is Recognizing God's Common Grace in an Unsettled World. So I'm excited about this, Tim. This is going to be good. By the way, I would highly recommend that you get this book. Go to Amazon.com right now and purchase a copy. In fact,
or 1,000.
Or 1,000.
I'm just brainstorming.
There you go. Yeah. By the way, by the time you hear this or listen to this, I'm going to just say that it's not too late. You can direct message me or direct message apologetics.com. Any way that you know how to get a hold of us, I have a few copies to give away. So if you just like our page, especially our YouTube page, I'm trying to get to 2,000 likes. We're nearly there, by the way. Mm-hmm. So we want to grow our YouTube channel. If you just let us know that you've done that and provide me your mailing address in the U.S., all right, no international ones for now, I will send you a copy. So again, it's good while supplies last. All right. So Dr. Muehlhoff is, he teaches classes in conflict resolution, apologetics, gender and family communication. He is a co-director of Biola's Winsome Conviction Project that seeks to reintroduce compassion and civility into our disagreements. He's the co-host of the Winsome Conviction Project, where people with differing viewpoints are brought on for engaging dialogue. Tim has written extensively in the area of cultural engagement and conflict resolution, including Winsome Conviction, Disagreeing Without Dividing the Church, which I know we had a show on that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And Winsome Persuasion, Christian Influence in a Post-Christian World with Biola professor Rick Langer, each having received a Merit Award from Christianity Today, Book of the Year Award. Lately, we've told you guys that our main thrust is cultural apologetics, and I believe that Dr. Muehlhoff is just one of the leading voices in that area, in that field. So, welcome. Thanks for being here, Tim.
Oh, it's great to be here, Harry. My wife always shakes her head, like, "Where are you going at this time of night?" And I just say, Harry, and she knows exactly where I'm going.
I love it. You know that, like I said, we're prime time in some of the English-speaking parts in Asia. So
that's right. Yep.
Oh, by the way, too, if you guys don't know, and you can Google Tim here, but you hold a black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu.
I do, Harry.
Tell me about it.
I've actually been thinking of ways to take you out right now if I need to. If things somehow get violent. I studied Shaolin Kung Fu for 7 years, and now I do self-defense training at domestic violence shelters here in Orange County. My wife and I just got back from teaching self-defense to Maasai women in Tanzania, verbal and physical self-defense. You know, I actually make the point in the book, Harry, that self-defense is a common grace of God, that if you take a look at the history of martial arts, they popped up all over the world, and most of them are virtuous. Like Shaolin Kung Fu is never to be used as the aggressor. It's only meant for self-defense purposes. And Wing Chun Kung Fu is named after a woman, a peasant woman, who was taught to defend herself against a warlord. So I do believe in a violent world, God's saying, man, you're going to need to know how to protect yourself. So here is self-defense systems that he gave all around the world, almost independently of each other, which I think is just a fascinating way to look at how God cares for us.
That's great. Before we totally get into the topic of our show tonight, which is, again, Tim's new book, Eyes to See, and it's about common grace, I do want to remind you that we are supported entirely by your generous donations. So if you find that our shows are valuable and wish to see it continue, please support us by liking and sharing this on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media outlets. You can also help us with our radio costs by going to the website, www.apologetics.com, and click on that donate button. And any amount helps, and your partnership will be greatly appreciated. All right. So I'm looking at your book, Tim, and to be honest, I go, why am I going to, what does this have to do with apologetics? Now, I know you speak on the area of apologetics, but I'm looking at the book. It has a flower in it, and I know Sean McDowell says some nice words there. But I go, is this? I wonder if there's any apologetics here. And for our listeners who are totally into apologetics, I'm wondering if we can persuade them to pick it up. But what do you think? Tell us what your book has to do with apologetics.
So. You've actually had me on the show before, a book I co-wrote with J.P. Moreland, who's phenomenal, called The God Conversation, and that is classic apologetics. We do everything from the argument from design, the moral argument, reasons for the resurrection, things like that. Well, to me, this is the prequel to that book. Like, how do you get into apologetic conversations? Many of my students struggle with that. They want to share their faith. It just never comes up in ways that they then can step into classic apologetics. So I view this as the book that goes before that book. Like, how do you use pop culture, everything from The Walking Dead to Squid Games, whatever's in your queue with Netflix? How do you take that and transition to classic apologetic issues? John Wesley believed that every Christian should be able to take the front page of the newspaper and transition from a story to the gospel. And I think pop culture gives us a great way of taking a look at life that all of us are experiencing, Christian and non-Christian. And from there, we make the transition to the possibility that God is at work in the world today as we take a look at headlines, news events, things that are happening in the lives of all of us, everything from a pandemic to Ukraine. And how do you take that and open up the God door to have the God conversation, what this book is about?
I like that because it doesn't seem confrontational. And your guards, both the speaker and the hearer, your guards are down because it's common to both of you. Whatever we're going to learn tonight, some of these areas that are actually common. Maybe we haven't thought of it that way before.